load up and get some receivers. I know they got what Duvernay still there, and Rashad Bateman is there to pair off uh with OBJ there. So I don't know. We'll have to see what this new OC does with some of these new weapons he has, and of course, I mean that's an intriguing piece for Lamar to want to stay and sign this franchise at least. Advice to my guy Lamar Jackson: you gotta go sign your agent. Sign your agent, all right? So go ahead and sign your franchise tag at what 32, $33 million for the year, and take some of that cash. Go hire you an agent so you can get this job finalized. But in the meantime, in between time, have fun with OBJ. I mean, we don't see you guys potentially into the playoffs, and we know that that could very easily happen, especially with a new offense. OBJ, Lamar Jackson, they always going to have a run game. So, yeah, it could be very intriguing. We'll soon shall see. But congrats to OBJ. And maybe this is going to keep Lamar around at least for another year. So, moving on. The Buffalo Bills have shined defensive end Shaq Lawson today. My boy Crane is back. You know what I mean? Definitely back. But it came down to Jack signing the contract, the thing all over again. I kind of without back, to see if they can get this thing, where it needs to be. So, what was your thoughts on Shaq Lawson resigning in Buffalo?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I was happy with it. Bringing back a locker room presence. A guy who's high energy. A guy who's got that attitude, the grit about him that you want from your defensive lineman. A guy who's productive, who comes in and is efficient with, the snaps he's given. He's always good in run defense. He's a above average pass rusher. I like Shaq Lawson. And I really do appreciate the love he has for Buffalo, the way he keeps coming back and, he calls it his home and things like that. It's always a good move whenever you can add depth that looks like Shaq Lawson.
Right. I mean, here it is. He knows he's going to have an opportunity to start because he finished out the starter due to the injury of Von Miller. So right now you would have to say he's the starter right now at defensive end. I know you got AJ, but now with this move right here, somebody's may be getting moved because it's still a crowded edge rush room. Von will be back. So when Von comes back, what's going to happen? You got to move somebody. Does AJ Espinosa last year of his deal? You start looking at some of those up to the draft who potentially package up in some sort of a blockbuster deal on draft day. So I definitely do like Shaq re-signing here in Buffalo because it gives continuity. It gives you the ability to know that we do have a solid guy, a veteran. Crystal, excuse me. Let me be crystal on that. When he went other places, he didn't play word for them. He got his bag, but again, grass ain't green on the other side, right? You know what I mean? Grass is always green wherever you water it. So, it seems like that water right now is in Buffalo for Shaq Lawson, and again, ecstatic to have him back. So, we put together our mock draft, right? What was your thoughts on, what we did yesterday? First time we, if everybody's tuned in, we did a 2.0 on the NFL Draft Simulator, and we went live stream on that. Make sure you go to the Bills Mafia fan page. It's tagged on WUFO as well. And you can see us breaking down our 2.0 mock draft. So, we did push back a little bit, and we were able to get the tight end at 41. Did you read some of the comments that was on there? Did we get any more draft grades?
I was more active on Twitter.
Yeah.
People basically, a lot of people agree with trading out of the first round pick. Like that is, I don't want to go as far to say the consensus, but I feel like that's the popular option. People wanting to trade out of that 27 pick, which I mean, I completely agree. Again, I don't necessarily know if I would have moved back to 41 personally. And actually, that was a lot of what a lot of people said. There was a lot of people who were saying that, you know, at that spot, back our guy like
he comes back to Nolan Smith's growth. Like, come on, I'm over that. The Bills is starting to have the term because one, we're paying this guy $20 million, and then this guy is going to be up on his. Or unless you're going to trade the Russo away.
You think Shaq Lawson gonna make Nolan Smith sit away to start?
But I just don't feel where we should get. You mean get Nolan Smith at pick 27? Or move back and
I'm saying, well, either or. I'm saying like if Shaq Lawson and Nolan Smith go into the training camp / preseason, you think Shaq Lawson is gonna take snaps away from Nolan Smith?
Yeah, absolutely is. Because one, he's a veteran. Two, he's way bigger than Nolan Smith.
He is bigger, a lot bigger. Yeah, and Nolan Smith is pretty small.
We talking about the NFL here. We talking, you know, I get it. The measurables, the 4.3 40, but still a little bit undersized at what, 230?
237. I will say, coming out, Michael Parsons, 1 inch bigger and only 7 pounds heavier. So Nolan Smith could easily go into training camp with 7 pounds of muscle and look a little different.
Okay, now you say all that in the Bills scheme. You think he'll fit in the Bills scheme like that?
I don't.
Right.
But he is a great player, and great players, you know, makes differences.
Sometimes great players don't fit in people's schemes neither.
Yeah, but if a player is great enough, adapt. Kyrie Elam, he don't necessarily fit in the scheme, but they're gonna have to adapt, and they're gonna have to use
a great player right now.
I would say he's a
great player.
Well, I mean, coming out of the draft, it's hard to say any rookie is a great player.
That's my guy, right? About to say that's my boy, but I ain't really about to say he's a great player.
It's hard to say anybody's a great player. I would say that Kyrie Elam is a great rookie. I think he's one of the top rookies, and I think that he is a great talent. I'll say that. He's a great talent. And I think the Bills are going to have to adjust at some point in order to put him on the field and let him excel at what he does best versus asking him to do something that he's not really good at.
Well, that goes again. Why draft a guy when he's not, we're going to force him to be something he's not. You know, word on the streets, that's like trying to make a bleep, bleep, bleep into a bleep, bleep, bleep. You just came to. But my thing is this. I get where you're coming from with, you know, we slide back and all of a sudden Nolan Smith's still best player available. What do you do there, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I just have to go with if it doesn't fit the scheme, then I can't entertain it. As much as a good player Nolan Smith was in college and all that, as a monster, I got to stick to what I'm looking for within my scheme because now Bills don't have time to 2 or 3 years to try to develop a guy, you know, drafted in first round. Like, we need a guy that's going to come in and play right away. I ain't got time to develop you and, you know, you riding around with training wheels in the NFL for 2 years at this pick. I need somebody to come in, turnkey, that's going to be able to produce. That's why I say, okay, slide back. I mean, the expectation for a Darnell Washington to produce is basically, I won't say slim to none, but it's an area where you lack at, and it's the only thing the Bills probably lack at offensively is someone that can inline block on the edge, and you know somebody that can help you in the red zone. Like, what's gonna help us in the red zone? We brought Cole Beasley, but I thought that was gonna work. That didn't work.
They lost their
go get a bigger target that's going to be able to produce inside the red zone, whether it's blocking or catching. You know, so that's why I say you can slide back, you can get Darnell Washington and accumulate another pick in the top 100. So you'll have 4 picks in the top 100. That's what
I think that is the logical route is to slide back, get another second, another third, and do it that way. Because again, like we talked about on the live mock draft, is if you could get 4 top 100 players and don't pick any of the top 32, that's still a lot of good players. The first 20 players or so are first round grades, and then the rest really aren't. You got a lot of second, third rounds graded players compacted in that top 100 there. And I think that, like I said, you could get a lot of really, really good value in those top 100 picks, especially if you have 4 picks in that. You might mess around and go get 3 starters.
Right. Absolutely. That's why they call it the top 100, because somewhere in that top 100, no matter how much you picking, you should be able to get an impact guy, in the top 100. And the Bills have 4 chances to get, that just by scaling back a little bit. Yeah, I think they should do that. I mean, looking at, again, their depth chart, if you go on any type of Bills depth chart, you will see where they are lacking right now to this day. Especially now, you got to add Shaq Lawson in the mix now because they just signed him today. So I don't know how many players they have on a roster yet. I know it should be close to 70 right now, right? So I mean, they got to do what? What's the max roster? 91 or 93?
93.
93, right? So I think they should be somewhere around 70. So that's still 20 more players they need to, fill this roster up between, the draft coming up in a couple of weeks, and then obviously you have rookie minicamp where they're going to be signing undrafted free agents and stuff like that. So anybody in the town that just recently graduated within this year or last year's draft class, hit me up. Maybe can get you a workout with the Bills. All right. So Kobe, my boy Animal. I don't know a few others who's out there right now that that's local, played UB, Buff State. Wherever in the area, hit me up. All right. Maybe we can get you a tryout with the Bills, but you better hit me up ASAP. You can't find me, call the station. All right. 716-837-1112. All right. I just got word from my guy, within said get stuff over to him ASAP. So little PSA for everybody today. That was brought to you by Premier Cigar. Make sure you head 13-7 Jefferson Avenue. Tell them I sent you. All right. So, you get a good opportunity. Make sure you hit me up. All right. ASAP. So, yeah, we did our mock draft. And then, one thing that I got over was how did you like your guy, Corey Trice? Did you check out his tape?
Yeah. And so a lot of his plays is like he's a good tackler, right? That's a lot of his plays is just making tackles, being there, being the secure tackler. I don't really see a ton of coverage. And coverage, I mean, is pretty basic. But again, with the measurables he does have, I can't really see somebody, not being able to be coached up to play, better or maybe make some plays and go out there, be more confident, because I feel like at the cornerback position is really all about confidence. That's why guys break on the ball the way that they do. Some guys tend to play, reserve, but a great corner knows what you're going to do before you do it.
Right.
And they're able to capitalize on that. So if he's coached up the right way and he gets a better understanding of the game, with those measurables, he could be great.
He fits the scheme. And that's why sometimes I dig deep into the crates in the later rounds and try to pick up guys. May not necessarily Bills need a cornerback, but again, what was he? 6'3", 205 pounds. He kind of checked out, to be a guy later on in the meat and potato rounds, that the Bills could probably get. And, he could probably play safety for you. He could play some corner. He could play some nickel for you. There's some things that this guy can play. And, he shows a physicality to him, that cornerback. So, I kind of like that pick. I like the Hunter pick. So a lot of things that I did like in that draft that we did pick up. So make sure you head on to Twitter or Facebook and check our draft simulated mock, Bills mock 2.0. That's out right now. the article will be coming out very soon. Probably Friday I'll be releasing that official 2.0 in the article, unless Justice beat me to the punch. But one thing I did take from it, everybody was talking about offensive line, and with all the moves that the Bills did in free agency, I think it kind of catered to the offensive line a little bit. We re-signed Mike Boddicker, we re-signed Questenberry. We picked up Connor McGovern from Dallas. We picked up David Edwards from the Rams. So the Bills did a lot of, picking up front, and Bills fans still yet think that the Bills are going to draft a lineman with pick 27. And I get it. And, everybody is basically on Spencer Brown's, what. And they want to see something happening at that right tackle spot. I do like Darnell, the guy out of Tennessee.
Darnell Wright.
Darnell Wright. I like Darnell Wright. But he's off the board. He's a top 15 pick.
So they say
right now. He may slide.
He could slide.
He could slide.
A couple of these guys could slide.
But I think that it's still some more serviceable tackles where you don't have to go and get a guy like that in the first round. I like him though. I can't lie to you. I do like him. If I were to draft somebody in the first, he would probably be the only one.
Really?
Yeah, he would probably be the only one. I mean, the kid from Northwestern, he's not going to be here. He's top 10 pick. But other than that, we don't need a guard, so that cuts off Cyrus Torrance out, and then he's flying anyway.
Let me ask you, which wide receiver would have to drop for you to go at 27?
Quentin Johnson.
Quentin Johnson? You like Quentin Johnson?
Quentin Johnson.
Why you like Quentin? Because he's tall and fast?
That's right.
I do.
Take that cap.
See, now I'm with you. And I like that. His measurables are insane. A 6'4" and a 4'3". Come on, stop playing.
Right.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Sure.
And you know what? I'm a hater of all the people that says things like, oh, his 3-cone drill is terrible. Oh, he can only run 2 routes and all that other crap. You said, stop talking to me. All right. I hate that. It's such a dismissive, it's such a dismissive description. You are taking away everything that they accomplished. You think he can't run a slant? You think he can't run an out? You think they can't run a in or a post? Or come on, stop playing. He can run a dig. Things, especially because those things are teachable. Again, look, you said DK Metcalf. Look how stupid people sounded saying that stuff now, right? However, what about Jackson Smith out of Ohio State? He's not going to. But if he fell, would you consider a guy like him or Jordan Addison?
No.
No? Not even in Jigba?
Nope. You
don't like Njigba?
I like him, but I kind of think that Shakur and him are kind of like the same player.
Yeah, but he's way better.
No, let's stick with the still we got in the 5th and give him a chance. Like, that's the issue now. If we go and get a receiver that high, why did we go get a Shakur in the 5th round?
I will say that I'm not as high on Shakir as everybody else. I'm not. Like, I hear a lot of people like, oh, we got Diggs, Davis, and Shakir for next season. Imagine if we were to add a DeAndre Hopkins or a Jack. I don't know if I'm comfortable with Shakir as my number 3 receiver going into next season. I don't know. I feel like I haven't really seen enough. Like, I feel like we only got to see a limited version of him. And I kind of feel like he's the new Gabe Davis. Right? A guy who no. And I don't mean Gabe Davis in terms of like his measurables and what he brings to the table. I mean in terms of a draft pick who theoretically, where you're drafted, you aren't supposed to be an impact player for a championship team. But he showed some promise his rookie season, and now a lot of people are rooting for him to be an impact player in his second season. Same way Gabe Davis was expected to be an impact player his second season. And I don't know if I necessarily see that in Khalil Shakir yet. And I was super excited for him coming out of Boise State because his tape looked crazy. Boy caught everything. So you know,
what changed that this year?
He ain't catch everything this year.
He ain't dropped too many. He didn't have too many balls thrown his way, but he was made some clutch catches.
He did. He made a couple. He dropped one or two too. But I'm not mad at it. I just need to see a little bit more. So.
Yeah. So let's see a little bit more of him before we start saying we need more receivers. And you know, we still got Stephon Diggs under contract, and then Gabe Davis' contract is up this year. So what are we gonna do? I mean, I not that high. I see a receiver maybe in the forecast because now OBJ is gone.
Right.
So the Bills have been, you know, dancing with the fact that, you know, they've been shopping for wide receivers. It's no mystery. Okay, you went out there and you sought out some of the best, and I give you nothing but respect and absolute credit for trying to make this team better. I'm not mad at the Bills that, you know, they didn't get the job done with OBJ, but just the simple fact that they were in the hunt says a lot. And you know, I mean, I expect that, and I'm quite sure a lot of Bills fans appreciate that, even though they would appreciate it better if they were able to sign him. But we get it. You know, you don't have $18 million to give a guy right now. You know what I mean? And Baltimore did.
Which is another reason I'm shocked OBJ went there. The Ravens with Lamar Jackson and the and the blessings of Jesus, I don't know if the Ravens going to the Super Bowl.
Hey, it don't matter. As long as you get a chance to they giving you $15 million to prove on a prove it deal.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Yeah, you're right. But one, oh my god. And look, if I said General, hey, I need you to come to WUFO, I'm gonna give you $7 million to prove it. And somebody else say, hey, I'm gonna give you to mess with Big Head Productions, a prove it deal for $15 million. Where you going? You wrong with Big Head Productions. Right? See, but the thing about it is Odell Beckham is a once top 3 receiver in this league. Is not far removed from that, and came off of a torn ACL and was almost Super Bowl MVP. And he's coming off of another torn ACL. Granted, I give you that.
$15 million.
I know, but is it money for Odell at this point? He's got endorsements. He's made a big case, so he signed a big contract already.
Get paid his worth. If he feels his worth is that a value after showing y'all that I'm healthy, I'm back. Y'all wanted me to work out for y'all, right? At first, I thought all I had to do was just show y'all that I was nice still.
Yeah.
I showed y'all.
And that wasn't enough.
I showed y'all
that wasn't enough. Yeah, you're right.
I showed y'all that. So, you know, the price of the brick has just went up.
Yeah, the price went up. Yeah, you're fast.
You know, I was talking about 8 at first, but now it's back up to 15.
Because theoretically, he should be getting like 20, 25, something crazy like that. But, you know, coming off a torn ACL 1 year, I ain't mad at it. I just, I don't like it. Because you could have won a Super Bowl this year, dog. You could have won a Super Bowl this year, right?
Well, he got 15 million reasons to go figure out why
what's going to make you warm at night? Is it going to be a Super Bowl ring or is it going to be the extra $7 million that you got?
He got a Super Bowl ring already.
He do got a Super Bowl ring already. That's facts. He did go.
He got a Super Bowl ring.
All right. Okay.
He won his coin.
Get your coin, OBJ. All right, man. I ain't mad at it. I can't find enough reasons to hate. Mookie keep blocking all of them.
I'm just saying. I'm just being realistic.
All right.
Not optimistic.
No more
being realistic.
No more.
Right? Speaking of realistic, we got a break to take. So when we come back, we're going to talk about Bills addressing the offensive tackle. All right, so make sure you keep it locked, keep it legendary. Call us, man, 716-837-1112. You know what to do. Keep it locked and legendary. You're tuned into the WUFO 1080 AM on Power 96.5. We'll be right back.
You made a great point about Trice when you said he fits in our system and he could play safety. Because when I look at his tape, I just see a bigger Damar Hamlin, if I'm being honest. He really looks like a bigger Damar Hamlin. Yeah, right.
And bags. You name it, we got it. We also have hot and cold thermal mugs. Grab a mug to sip while listening to your favorite station, Power 96.5 FM. Visit our virtual store today at power965radio.com/store and you'll find our latest merchandise.
Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially since you're always growing and changing. But deepening your self-awareness is the key to a happier, more fulfilled life. Therapy is all about that process of self-discovery, because sometimes you don't know what you really want until you talk things through. BetterHelp offers convenient online therapy on your schedule. It's the same professional service you'd get from an in-person therapist, but with the option to communicate when and how you want, by chat, phone, or video call. Plus, getting started is easy. Just go to their site and fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. If you don't find the right match the first time, don't worry. You can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Start on your own journey of self-discovery with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/growth today to get 10% off your first.
What's up, y'all?
That's betterhelp.com/growth.
Uh-oh. Bus a bus. And we are back. Welcome back to Late Night Sports. Once again, I'm your host, Muki Honkers, on the ones and twos, DJ Ross Mawada. Inside the booth, we have Justice, the general fan base super producer. And, you know, if you just tuning in, we was talking about, you know, OBJ signing with Baltimore. We was talking about Shaq Lawson re-signing with the Bills. And, you know, we were just talking about the offensive line. And only thing that's an issue right now, probably Bills fans got a problem with, is right tackle, right? So I said if we were to draft one in the first round, Darnell Wright would be my guy out of Tennessee. But, okay, Darnell Wright is off the board. And at some point, maybe the Bills do still want to address that right tackle spot. We do have Tommy Doyle who can play from tackle to guard. All right, we know that. We do have Questenberry. We still have some, you know, undrafted free agents that's on the roster, but I think the Bills now it's their time to take another offensive tackle because you may slide Tommy Doyle in at guard. I mean, last year, you know, he was playing some guard as well, but you know, Bills right now are loaded at that position, and you know, maybe Questenberry isn't enough to stir the pot up at right tackle. So again, I don't think the Bills have to go first round. You know, it's still some serviceable tackles out there, you know, that's going to be around, you know, anywhere between the first, second, and third, maybe the fourth.
No, that's a couple of boys.
You know, there's some solid ones. And a few of them have piqued my interest. I do like offensive tackle Matt Bergeron from out of Syracuse. You know, he definitely showed me some things. I went and I watched his Senior Bowl tape one-on-one. And, you know, he did quite well against, you know, those defensive linemen that was also at, you know, the Senior Bowl. And some of those are some of the top rated defensive linemen that's coming out in this year's draft. I think that Bergeron definitely hold his own. He can be somewhere between a second and third round pick. So, you know, that guy can be available to the Bills, you know, anywhere between the second and third round, Matt Bergeron. Another guy that I liked as well was from out of Alabama, Tyler Steen. You know, and I don't think that a lot of people is really paying him any attention because, you know, all of the other five-star recruits that was on Alabama's front. And, you know, I think that, you know, he ain't, I mean, to me personally, like, I didn't see him get beat at all at the Senior Bowl. When they did one-on-one, I think he won every rep. And I think he played quite well at the Senior Bowl. So it's another guy that's probably like nobody's paying attention to that I think that, you know, can do well. And he plays on the left side as well. So move him over to the right because you got Deion Dawkins there right now. And, you know, Tyler Steen will be definitely one of those guys that will be available. He range anywhere between second, third, and fourth. You know, he has that range. So, you know, those are some guys that, to me, could be on the radar. Later guys, you got a Jackson Kirkland from out of Washington. You know, another big guy that you probably may want to convert to guard, but he may be serviceable to play some big right tackle for you if you don't. You're just basically running the ball, something like that. But, yeah, I would have to say, you know, those three guys are, you know, definitely be around in the meat and potato rounds where you don't have to, like, just go crazy and go draft a lineman with the first round pick. And that's why I say the Bills can move back because the guys that they got high on their board, and I don't want to act like I know what their board is, but if they're saying the best linebacker out there is a Jack Campbell or a Trenton Simpson or, Drew Sanders, those guys has a projection of late first to early third, or Noah Sewell. You know what I mean? There's serviceable linebackers that's going to be around that's going to be there in the later rounds. So, I mean, if we're just talking about draft need, move back. Move back. See what you can get. Try to pick up an extra pick. I mean, or if you're just trying to go for that guy. My thing is this: if the Bills move up in this year's draft, I might be a little upset with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, it depends on how far they move up. Because if they doing that, if they jump in the top 10, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah, because you have to give them too much capital to do that.
I'll be mad if they did it this year and didn't do it last year. Right.
I mean, because if you go in the top 10, who are you even getting?
In the top 10 this year?
Yeah, like I mean, theoretically, if you're saying that you can go get Jalen Carter or a Will Anderson or even what's the boy out of Texas Tech, Tyree Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Tyree Wilson. I ain't gonna lie to you. Listen, that boy gonna be a superstar one day. But if you could go get one of those guys, I mean, Tyree Wilson is number 9 on PFF's big board. If Tyreek Wilson slips to number 9, because I don't think he's slipping past 4, if I'm being completely honest. If he slips to number 9 and Brandon Beane make the call, I would not be mad, depending on the compensation we have to give up for it.
Right. Well, that's automatic. You're going to have to give up 27. You're going to have to give up 59.
Probably. Yeah.
You're going to have to get out of it. And maybe
probably give next year first.
Next year, that's stretching to maybe the next year's second.
Move from 27 to 9? I don't know.
Check the
I'll
index.
I'll check the index.
You got to check the index on that. But I would be mad because if they do that, they could have did it last year with Sauce Gardner. I wouldn't, I'd be a happy camper. We just did that with Sauce Gardner.
Go and get Sauce, yeah.
Like why we doing it now? We could have did that last year and got Sauce instead of facing him twice a year now. Defense of Rookie of the Year, might I add. That's all I'm saying. So if they do that, I'm gonna ask them about that too. I'm like, man, when y'all move up this year and then move up last year. So I just say right now, way the Bills are constructed, I would try to move back, get at least another 1 or 2 picks. They don't need to go crazy. They got 6 right now, so swap out to get 1, get 2 for 1, and maybe another 2 for 1 situation in the mid rounds because they got a gap. They go from 91 to 130, so that's a huge gap right there. But they double up from 130 to 137. So maybe some teams right then and there trying to dive back in to get something. And that's normally where the Bills start milling around trading too. They like to trade in those middle rounds to accumulate picks.
Yeah. So I mean, essentially, you'd have to give up first 3 round picks if you're the Buffalo Bills in order to
move up, right?
And try to get up in the top 10.
Yeah, I won't worry about that. But in the weeks to come, as the draft gets near, we're really gonna break this thing down. Maybe we need to have a draft guru come up there, my man, the Black Male Piper.
Get Jared over here.
Yeah. I might call a guy from the Draft Network. And then my girl, Sheena Quick. She's a beat writer for the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
They had the number 1 overall pick. So we're going to have her on, probably that last week leading up to the draft. So we can get some juicy details on what's going to happen with the number 1 overall pick. All right. My girl, Sheena Quick, she has all the great insight concerning the Carolina Panthers. So if you check her out, she was just on Up and Adams with Kay Adams this morning.
Okay.
All right. So, she's going to be on the show as well. So,
Cavs from Good Morning America or Good Morning Football.
Yeah, Kay Adams. She got her own show now. Up in Adams. What I mean? So, got that. So, she's on there. We're going to have her on the show coming up in the in the coming weeks leading up to the drafts. But let's move over into another sport, NBA. The playoffs is almost official if they're not official already. Playing games and all. I see the Golden State Warriors wasn't having none of that yesterday. They just strictly blew Portland out. 57-101. That's crazy. That's crazy, but
55 in the first quarter.
right. 55 in the first quarter. It's like, all right, we ain't giving up.
We ain't playing no games. It's ain't gonna be a close game. Dame, you not shooting from half court. We're not doing no fluke, no nothing. Catch all 150. He's in regulation.
Yeah, my Lakers missed it by a game. Looks like they're gonna be in the play-in sweepstakes.
But that's cool though, because at one point it didn't even look like they was gonna be close.
Right, everybody counted the Lakers out. Like, they ain't gonna make it. They
Yeah.
should break and trade LeBron or so, whatever.
I ain't mad at a playing tournament, especially when you're playing against Minnesota. And Anthony Edwards is a young guy. You can take advantage of that. You know what I mean?
No, the Lakers don't play Minnesota.
In the play-in, right?
Right now, they play Oklahoma. OKC. Lakers play OKC. And
what I'm looking
Minnesota,
at, I got OKC playing New Orleans.
I thought 7 play 10 and 8 play 9.
8 play 7, 9 play 10.
8 play 7. And 8 play 7 and 9 play 10. Wow.
I'm on NBA.com.
Strange. How they playing in like that? 7 play 8 and 9 and 10. But anyway, Minnesota it is or OKC it is. But I mean, I think that the Lakers revamped the roster, making those trades, right after the All-Star game, and that would pretty much catapulted the team. And then LeBron going down definitely helped a little bit too. So it got guys really a chance to play their true game.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because so it goes 7-8 and then 9-10, and then the winner of 9-10 plays the loser of 7-8, and then they go for the 7 and 8 seed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's how that works.
Yeah.
That's how that works. Yeah, it's strange on how they put these new Kobe playing rules in. But I like it though. I like it. It's
give more people opportunity.
Yeah,
a little bit of parity. Yeah.
So I mean, but if we just go back to the regular how it went, the Lakers would have done naturally made it. You know what I mean? The Lakers would have been in. You know what I mean? If it was regular rules, they would have been the 7th seed playing the Memphis Grizzlies. And that'd have been pretty interesting there. But I mean, they finished 10 games out, which isn't bad. You know what I mean? They finished 10 games out from being in the number 1 spot. So that isn't bad of a season, I mean,
the West was it was this year. It was good, not great. We used to the West being like phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You used to seeing the Clippers with 59 wins or something crazy, Lakers and the Warriors and Mavericks and all this stuff. Now the Mavericks is losing games on purpose.
Yeah.
How you feel about that? How you feel about Mark Cuban on the sideline smirking after resting Luka and Kyrie and essentially these guys think you get one shot down by 2, and not even one shot. 23 seconds left in the game, down by 2. You chucking up a 3. It felt like they lost that game on purpose. What do you think about that?
Well, maybe because they finished 2 games out. I mean. Maybe they just wasn't ready to get to the playoffs and might as well tank it to get a lottery pick.
You got Luka and Kyrie. I don't know, man. If I'm like, is that not what you don't feel comfortable taking a shot with Luka and Kyrie?
They ain't got enough. They wouldn't have enough. Just those 2. They wouldn't have enough, so they got to go get it in the draft. This is the year to see how that Kyrie and Luka is going to match, because if it's not working, maybe you need to move Luka, or maybe Luka would want to move himself. If you
move Luka in lieu of Kyrie Irving, who can't stay with a franchise to save his life, then the Mavericks they're gonna fold. They're gonna fold.
Yeah, well, we have yet to see that. We'll see that probably next year. But in the Western Conference, Lakers, Minnesota, New Orleans, Oklahoma City. Which 2 out of these 4 advance?
I like obviously I like the Lakers. Theoretically, when you look at having LeBron James, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, and a lot of the pieces they have, they shouldn't even be in this playing tournament. Granted, they've only had this roster for half the season, so I understand that point of view, but they should come out of this pretty easily. To be honest, if they're as good of a team as we think they are, they should come out of this pretty easily. And then the other team, I mean, I want to say Oklahoma City because I like Shy.
Mhm.
Shy be
He's a
out there
monster.
balling. He be balling, and
He's
I
a
think he
monster.
deserves recognition. But I mean, Pelicans, I feel like, I feel like they are the best or the second best team, obviously second to the Lakers out of the
They
four.
just got more. They got more players.
Right.
They
So
got
that's what I'm
more
saying.
players.
Like theoretically,
They're
they
a little bit
should.
more firepower.
Yeah.
Than OKC, the Pelicans do. They got McCollum. They got Ingram.
Right. Man, CJ McCollum, bro.
Right. You're gonna let Zion get healthy and be back pretty soon. So
Yeah.
I'll say that Lakers and the Pelicans advance. Now moving over to the Eastern Conference play-in, you got the Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks, Raptors, and Bulls. So these are going to be some pretty interesting battles. Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks. What do you got in that matchup?
Oh, I don't know what happened to Ice Tray, man. I thought they was going to be, the top dogs in the East. I thought he was coming. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm gonna have to take Miami there. It's just the foundation is too strong. They've been kind of working on that for a little while now, and they've had some success. They obviously went to the NBA Finals a couple years ago, and they still have a pretty good team. Eric Spoelstra has shown himself to not only be a good coach when you have three of the best players of all time, but so on, therefore, throughout the rest of his career so far, he's been a really good coach. So I'm just going to have to go with, who has the better foundation, which I believe is Miami.
Yeah, I have to go with Miami as well. I think, again, they just have a little bit more firepower than Atlanta, even though Atlanta do have Trae Young and a few other guys. But I just don't think that the chemistry is there. They've been a lot of moving parts in Atlanta trying to figure it out. The coach got fired in the midst of it all. And I think that, Miami would prevail there. But in the other bracket, you got Toronto and Chicago. Who are you picking out of those?
I'm going to go with Chicago. Again, they got better players. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I just think DeRozan and Levine, the firepower, you know what I mean? It's just a little bit.
And they got Valanciunas too. Right?
Yeah.
One of those Yugoslavias or Lithuanian bigs over there that's averaging a double. So yeah.
I will say though, in the West, the Kings and the Grizzlies might be looking like lit. They coming in a little young. Kings is playing the Warriors. you better be ready because we know what the Warriors can do in the postseason. Don't matter, how much they've struggled this season. If you let Steph or Clay or Jordan get an inch, it's over. And in Splash City. So I think the Kings might be a lick. And then here, the Lakers can beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, in the first playing game. They go to the 7th seed, which they'll be playing the Memphis Grizzlies. And, you give a healthy Lakers team against the Grizzlies. I know Ja is him. I understand that. But, again, this is playoffs. This playoff basketball is a little bit different. This is when LeBron stopped watching TV and start reading and stuff and everything else. And I think that they might be looking a little lickish there.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of lickish. But speaking of lickish, our Sabres won today.
Okay.
In the shootout. 3-2. I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, Devin Levy.
They had a 3-game win streak, and not sure.
Is that goalie the truth?
Yeah, it was about time. I don't know what they was waiting on finally getting the damn goalie. Like, That was the only thing that was missing.
Yeah, hold on. I mean, okay, I must say I'm not super immersed into hockey, right? But if this kid was on the roster sitting behind that old dude, who I mean, I don't watch the Sabres a ton, but I go to the games from time to time, and I can tell you that boy trash. Every time I look at a Sabres score, it's like, oh, the Sabres won 6-5 or something crazy like that. Like, why ain't this dude been starting over him?
The only thing that's hurting the Sabres right now is that the other teams ahead of them aren't losing.
Mm.
You know, Pittsburgh and Islanders. You know, the Sabres are 3 or 4 games out really of that 8th spot. So those teams aren't losing neither. So it's going to be a big week for the Sabres to go ahead and try to, keep being consistent while other teams, get a few L's here and there. So we need some help. But it's good to see that our Sabres are playing some meaningful hockey in April now. All right. So, with that being said, that's going to close our show off for today. NBA playoffs start tomorrow. Bills are on the clock. Make sure you tune in Wednesday night, and we'll have a little bit more in detail what's happening on the draft. I may have a few guests for you as well. So on behalf of DJ Ross Moana and Justice the General, I'm Mookie Hawkins. Stay safe, choose love, not hate, and wash them damn hands, man.
Cancer is not as simple as we typically.
Devin Levy is 4-1, and the team we're playing got lucky to beat us. He is the truth. Played college all year, went to juniors. Now he's playing for the Sabres. Long year for that young man. Hey, I'm gonna start watching the Sabres.
Was that our draft pick?
Devin Levy?
Yeah.
Or Levi, whatever. Let me check.
I know we drafted Goldie this year too. But we drafted him. If we didn't draft him last year, we had to draft him somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. This is let's see. $21. Ooh. Way on. He was drafted 212th overall by the Florida Panthers.
So when do we accrue from? Acquire? 6 foot.
Require Matt wrong. Oh, Sabres acquire goaltender and first round pick from Panthers. Sabres acquired Devon Levy and first round pick for the Panthers in exchange for forward Sam Reinhart. So he came as an extra in a deal. So he might end up being the true for real. Out of that.
Little sneaky pick.
You know what I'm saying?
That goalie in there while we getting rid of Sam.
Right? Goalie of the future, potentially.
MVP and top goaltender in Canadian juniors. 26 foot. I agree. Best thing Mike Harrington ever said that made any sense. Kevin Levi has never seen Rochester folks say. Sabres have 40 wins for the first time in 12 years. Live entering 80 or 82. Playing equal hockey down to the wire. That's what I said. Yeah, baby. That's a story. We got to be right now. Oh, yeah. That was funny. They look at Tyler Steen, Alabama.
Position. Tyler Steam. Steam. Okay.
I want big receiver. I want a little